Hello everybody and welcome. We are going to continue playing Mario because Mario, let's be blunt, it's such a good series to continue on when it comes to gameplay, I feel. And it's a game, you know, that I know relatively well. Not insanely well, like, but well enough that I'm like, yeah. Well, I haven't opened up the store yet. It is kind of the Christmas period. We are approaching New Year's. I hope you all are having a lovely time. I certainly am. In a couple of days, I'm seeing my mum's side of the family, which would be really, really nice. For those of you who are confused and see a ton of Mario on my channel, it's because I've started this again. Because for a couple of reasons. Number one, I didn't start this series, the original one, back about a year at the first start. I just continued my save file when I had about 5 stars or something. Look, I don't know why. I think I was just kind of doing... I think I was doing a bit of like a test, but the test ended up being pretty decent, so I just continued on. But to be honest, you know, I don't really... There's something about that always irked me, but I didn't do the first few stars. So I did that, which is really funny actually if you go back and watch that first episode. You know, me and the Bob-omb. You know, oof. Like, that took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but... You know, go figure. I don't know how to get this eel guy out here, even if I need to. So yes, you know, thank you for joining me. I'm trying to upload these, like, you know, have one a day, which is proved to be at this point in time not too bad. Like, I really don't mind doing that. If I record a couple a day, then I'm already ahead, you know. So I need air or stars. Oh, I don't think I'm going to make it, but we'll give it a shot. No, 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 no. Oh, how lucky was that? I really don't know how to get the... Maybe it is this. I had this exact same issue. When I played this the first time. And I don't think this turned out to be the right one. Oh, the music is so awesome. Again, I said that last time too, but man, the music is so precious here, man. It's so good. Right. And when it comes to this playthrough, I think I'm just going to get like the 70 coins. And then go from there. Like, I don't think I'll be getting 120 coins, but, you know, be that as it may, you never know. I might be able to plow through it. Maybe, but likelihood's pretty low. I think I said it in the other episode, but my goodness, here in Perth, Western Australia, it is hot, man. It is 40 degrees. I'm so lucky to have an aircon. Like, How weird. Like, I know, I'm pretty sure he comes out at some point. I don't know what triggers it, but... Was there another way to get inside the ship, maybe? I'm not sure. Hello, Mr. Eel. Will you please come out and say hello? Because I need to get in there so I can do things. But yeah, you know, I tell you what, there's something about Mega Drive music that does something to my brain. There it is. There's something about Nintendo 64 music that does something to my brain also. Absolutely. And when you hear songs like this, you kind of nod and you're like, yep. It makes sense. You know what I mean? Man, you have to forgive me. I think I'm feeling ever so slightly flat from that previous episode. I did the Fire Pro Wrestling one, which was just mental. Like, I really enjoyed talking about wrestling. Okay. Hey, how about this? Like a boss. Ah, I should have started swimming up this direction, but that's okay. Let's start Tell you what though, even like as slippery as this game is, as people say, the controls are pretty decent. They definitely could have been worse. I mean, if you play other games from this era, like 3D Space was something people struggled with. There we go.
Here we go! Go.
Man, I tell you what, the eels in this game even are like really freaky looking. Man, it is approaching lunchtime. Well, honestly, it's gone beyond lunch. A bit peckish. So I don't exactly know what I want to eat, you know. Oh, it's sad. But yeah, when I think about my previous playthrough of what I did with this, this is probably one of my favourite levels that I played. I don't know why. I think it's the music. It's it's just so peaceful. I really enjoy it. I guess I'm quite familiar with it as well. I might just for a change of pace, just grab this guy up here. You know, and I think that's what a lot of that is what this channel is going to be. I think I'm going to turn around and go back to some of his games and revisit them and see, you know, really how I kind of thought about them, because a lot of these games I just did not respond well to when I was younger or engaged. You know, again, as I said, I was a bit of a contrarian. I always just wanted to get like the more interesting third-party games and play. I just had this notion that like these were very cartoony, and I was like turning into an edgy young adult, you know, which wasn't the case at the time at all. But yeah, it's really lovely to go back and play these. Sometimes because of, you know, how they are, they can be frustrating. Go back and look at the freaking penguin race, you know. But I figured it out. Usually there is a quote-unquote trick to it. Like when it came to that race, it was just like, do you go fast? Do you go neutral, where you don't touch the stick forward at all? Or do you pull back? You know what I mean? And, you know, you figure it out. It's just usually you don't have, you know, a little group of people watching. Sorry, what was that? Oh, the red coins. Okie dokie. Well, red coin missions are always kind of fun in these kind of situations. They use up time. I think there's one here. I don't know what the consensus is on red coin missions. I've never not kind of minded them, you know. Whip 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 whip. Sounds a bit like Latian from Star Fox. The language. There is quite a lot on the ship, isn't there? That's okay. I'll start. Okay, I think quite a bit of them are on the ship now, so we'll go from there. Went to a musical gig the other day, saw the Perth band Miles Away, supported by Nervous, AWOL, and one of my favourite Perth hardcore bands, The Others. Far out. Pretty good show. The venue was a bit dingy, if I'm being blunt. Sorry for anyone who knows what the... I'm not going to call out the venue of that, but it probably was one of the more dingier venues I've ever been to. I remember I sent my mum a message, like, here's a photo, and my mum was like, there's a palm tree. And I said, yeah, it's the only decoy. Which, you know, is a bit of exaggeration. There was another tree, and there was some lights. Some nice looking lights near the toilets. But far out, man. Yeah, I dare say it was pretty, but the show itself was alright, and it's so hot as well, so I think people struggled, you know, to kind of keep... So, up here, nope. I think the last one is probably lined up. Actually, I remember what the last one was. It was down here. Yeah. I think for the last two bands, for AWOL from Melbourne and Miles Away, the crowd were like, hell yeah. But for the first two bands, nah. And the others, which I felt a bit sad for, because the others are awesome. But the crowd was just like, no, we're saving our energy for the main event band. So that's fair enough. And it was a bit of a new experience, because a few years ago there was this massive punk vet gig that I came to halfway through, and it had Miles Away and the others and a bunch of other bands, and the tickets were only $15, if you can believe it, right? 15 Australian dollars. And I think they had 3 stages, but one of the stages was like, you know, there was no barrier. They were literally just performing. Oh, I didn't pay attention to where that started. Oh, yeah, I did actually. Yeah, didn't have barriers, which is so rare these days, honestly. Especially in here in Perth. I think there's some sort of safety, idea. But it was so awesome. But I remember the others came on, and people went mental for the others. But when Miles Away came on, who were technically the main event of the show, everyone was wrecked. You know, so like, I think I had this exact problem when I played originally as well. Yeah, it was so interesting. It was like the opposite experience. Like, people went, nah, we're waiting. Poor the guys from the others, he was like, is this a hardcore show or what? You know, kind of thing, because there's a massive gap in the center where like 3 people were moshing. And that was that. I'm gonna go to somewhere else actually. Oh, I can go for here. Awesome. Yeah. So it was an unusual gig, interesting. And I'm glad I went. I got kicked in the chest and then kicked in my right shoulder when the others were playing. Within 3 minutes of them playing, which, you know, at a hardcore gig, it's gonna happen if you get up too close. So that, I'm not like blaming anyone, but I was just kind of like, I'm almost 40. I'm too old for this shit. It's kind of like, really stepped back. There was one guy, he was probably like a foot taller than me and like way more built, and people were like watching him because he was swinging his kicks so heavy, and if you got clocked by him, like, that would suck. So it was like, nah. I think honestly he kind of made it was just too hot. It was too hot for it, and the venue didn't put the aircon on until halfway through the night, weirdly, or maybe they did have it on, it just didn't like you couldn't feel it until it really did cool down or something. I don't know, but oh, I'd rather go to Amps or somewhere, you know. You know, you get gigs like that sometimes. You know, in the end of the day, you got to support them. And there's like, what, 100 people, 150 people maybe there. So good on them. Important. All the bands were up on like the steps supporting them, which I thought was really cool. It was like, oh. They did it like an acknowledgement of country, which I know is like divisive these days. I'm Nervous, the band, the chick there. And that was fucking cool. I think that's very important these days to do an acknowledgement of country. Maybe I should do it on YouTube. I will just go, it goes without saying, you know, like anytime I perform on this, I record something like this, you know, I acknowledge past, present, future and emerging Indigenous leaders, and this is stolen land. You know, I saw a punk band and the guy like Jeff Rosenstock come. He performed at the Record Bite about a month or two back, and you know, he said that he was like, if we perform in America or we perform here, he's like, it's stolen land. Like, fuck genocide, stuff that, stuff racism. You know, and it was like, yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm getting all fired up, so I'm making mistakes, but you know, and the whole crowd was just like, hell yeah, you know, and it's great. I'm glad that like people have gone like, oh nah, people get a bit funny about that, so we won't do it. It's like, no, the more people get funny about it. Sorry, I'm getting a little political, but whatever. I could care less with this particular subject. It's like, no, if people get a bit sassy about it, that is the that's the sign to do it more. It really is. I know that'll annoy some people. I really don't care. It's the truth. You know, like, change doesn't happen unless people decide no. It's not gonna. People go like, man, we've come a long way. Yeah, absolutely we have. We've come a really long way. We should be very proud of what we have done. It is not good enough. And people, oh, it's like, but that's just my opinion and the opinion of many others that will back me up. It's not good enough, you know, and it's only when we kind of recognize that more change will occur. That's just my philosophy, you know. You can disagree with it. That's absolutely fine. I still love you. Yeah. So Toastal's not here. Don't swing me around. That's another reason I kind of restarted this. I was doing like the voices and stuff, and I was like, nah, I'm not a good enough voice actor to do some of these. You know, so I'm just gonna. Completely missed it. Oh, you get stunned. I didn't realize that. Interesting. Man, I will say, like, one game, just to give you guys a bit of a heads up, one game I might, you know, play at some point, far out, is like Ocarina of Time. Because that, I don't know how I would say something is like, you know, my favourite game of all time, but when I think about Ocarina of Time, that is like my favourite game of all time. It's so fun to play, and I would not mind dragging you guys through the entire friggin' game. Maybe not all the side quests and such. I was careless, not planned. I'm not finished. You've only got 20 stars. Like. Yeah, I just love that. There's something very special about that game. and I'm not getting sentimental or anything. Like it doesn't mean that much. But like, I was so cheeky when I was little, and it was coming to Christmas, and it was my dad's birthday, and my mum was kind of like, "What would you like to get Dad for his birthday?" And Ocarina of Time had just come out, and me, being the cheeky, spoilt little brat I was, I said, "I want to get him Ocarina of Time," and Mum just kind of rolled her eyes and was like, "Oh." All right. You know what I mean? Like, so I with my mum's money, I got Dad, you know, Ocarina of Time. You know, karma is a funny thing though, because that game belonged to my dad. So like a few years after that, Dad was like, one of my mates from work wants to play Ocarina of Time, so I hope you don't mind, we're going to sell it to him for $20. And I was like, damn, I'd finished it completely, but the thing was, it was Dad's game, so I couldn't say, no, you can't sell a game. It's like, no, actually, you know, like, I can't say no. That's probably one thing I might get at some point, you know, is a really nice in-box copy of Zelda 64. But the thing about that is, it is on the Nintendo online, and it runs so much better than you know, what it does now on the, because when you have an Australian PAL version of the game, it only runs at 50 Hertz, which means that it runs a touch slower than it should. And I used to have massive heated arguments with my friend Matthew about it, because I'm like, there's no difference. You can't tell the difference. But, you know, I'm telling you, as I'm playing this now, and I've played on the thing and whatnot, nah, you actually can tell the difference, and it's significant. So, it would be nice to have the thing in box, but it would be the kind of inferior copy. Oh, far out. I don't remember how to get to the bully from here. Sorry about this guy, I'm just amateur hour here. So yeah, so we sold it to that guy for $20. You know, that game today, I don't know if we just sold the cartridge or we sold the manual and box as well. I really don't remember. But that game today is worth a decent amount, so it's like, oh. But yeah, I always said it was Dad's game, and you know, my dad passed away. And I kind of have that memory of like both him and me kind of playing that game and navigating the Kokiri village, and then like both knowing that, you know, wow, this game is special, like you really got to do the things, meaning like, you know, you have to go get a shield, you have to go get your sword, you have to go, you know, listen to what the characters say and pick up that information, listen to Navi, as annoying as she is, you know. So for me it really was a special game, you know, and that was the first Zelda game I ever played, so it weirded me out when I went back to like A Link Between Worlds and such, and saw the same items and similar characters, and just kind of thought to myself, oh, that's a bit lazy. You know, at the time I thought, well, it's like they're reusing characters and assets and ideas. Like, that's lazy as. Not knowing that it was kind of like paying homage, but also a little bit of fanfare for people, and a little bit of a reward for people who had played the previous Zeldas. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's special. You know, so when I do go back, I kind of smile now because I'm like, that's that character, and that character was in those 3 or 4 games. It all links up, you know what I mean? And similar things happens with Mario as well. You got Bob-ombs, and Bob-ombs have been around for ages. The Goombas have been around. You don't change that kind of thing. You add layers upon it. But yeah. Anyway, it is coming to New Year's and such. I thank you again for tolerating my gameplay and such. And but I have to say I am enjoying this. And I'll continue to kind of do this kind of things until it starts to feel a bit like a job. And when it starts to feel a bit like a job, that's when I might go, I'll just upload what I want. Or you'll see more and more gaps come in my uploads. And that's fine. I just don't want it to feel like a job. I think it started to feel a bit like that when I had like 10-minute episodes. It was a lot to do. Because it was like uploading 7 episodes, right? And then having to kind of put details and all. It's like, now doing it half an hour actually is pretty cool. Because even though I don't cover as many days, it's more fun. And I can talk more and I don't feel more under pressure. Anyway, have a lovely day and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.